Tomorrow is the big vote. If we stay on One Piece for 3 more months, it's up to you. Poll opens soon. It'll be open for 7 days till January 28th. Every patron gets a vote, $1 and upwards. And please don't forget, it also greatly supports the channel and this series. Without you all, it literally wouldn't be made. Link at the top of the description. See you there. Another decent representation of what life is like on the seas for pirates in this part of the world. It seems incredibly unpredictable sometimes. Already Oda has begun to write the characters a lot closer, after now seemingly being out at sea together for some time, with them clearly becoming a lot closer. Even though they can't, as Luffy ate the bait, it's worth pointing out a solid win that this is a clever use of time when you're now stuck not moving far. I felt that from Zoro considering where it looked like he got hit just now. Not only using this as a great recap of all the things Luffy and crew have achieved thus far on their journey, but then nicely linking it into a cover story. Even though I highly doubt this is legit, naturally take a win for getting to see this lad again. He's an episode 1er. Not something I'd normally focus on, but whoever did those water effects deserves praise. Looked amazing. Now I know it's a dream, but all the same, genuinely creepy looking with those effects. Looked like he was melting or something. What is going on? First Zoro and now this poor guy. It's also good to see him again, now working properly for a living and clearly nowhere near as much of a bad guy as in the past. Someone Luffy and Zoro have genuinely helped in a way. It's honestly nice to see him not regretting his decision to join the Marines in any way. It's what he's always wanted to do and he's clearly loving it still. Makes me happy. Man, what a gorgeous piece of art back there. I love the style that was done in. A proper well done portrait. Not exercising on the spot. My guy here laying out real world pearls of wisdom right there. And to be honest here as well, coming out with what can only really be described as a rousing speech. Can I just quickly add here as well that it's impressive that this wasn't used as a way to stretch out the episode using tons of flashbacks. Instead, they're short and few and far between so far. Another one here. It would have made me angry if he was being pushed around and did nothing to defend himself, but here he jumps into action and to protect Luffy's name, which is even better. For an episode covering a cover story, they never seem to take it easy on animation, to make them concentrate more on the proper episodes as it were. His lovely reaction to seeing Luffy, but also continuing to see the world react to what the crew are up to and how the paper has some detail on it too. See now? I get what people say when they mentioned wanting more cover stories. If they're like this, showing us characters of old and what they're up to, I too would love more. This is sick. Yes, I'm sold on the last win. When you get to see heart-to-hearts like this, what was being felt by a character at the time behind the scenes, something I never once thought about. Amazing stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's just sad when you pull away all the veneer hiding his true feelings. He's just a young boy afraid his dad is going to lose his life in the end of the day.
苦労様であります。
いや、ドーナツ食い続けの記録を更新中なんじゃ。
はい。
This guy seems weird and very unique.
動くな！俺が欲しいのは自由だ。そのためならこいつの命なんぞ血だまりにぶち込んでやる。
Two wins here. First of all, a huge plot twist that he seemingly took out this old man all of a sudden. But secondly, he shows his lack of worth by taking his own son hostage and saying he'd rather have freedom over anything else. Wow.
ヘルメットさん、待ってください。友達が乗ってるんです。友達なんです。
What a lad he's turned out to be. What I like the most is how he's proven himself worthy of being called a friend by risking his life like this too. As far as I'm concerned, in this moment, he also proved his worth in terms of becoming a Marine too. Wanting to protect someone and catch an outlaw. It's all about the code and doing the right thing. I'm equally surprised that he's still fine and dandy and he destroys the cannon to very likely protect Kobe and, not to be forgotten, those damage effects to boot.
勝者はわしか。
It's such simple humour, but it really does the trick to make me laugh every time, I swear.
あんたの言いなりになんかなるもんか。俺の生き方は自分で決める。
Never thought I'd end up being happy for the lad, but I really am. Right here he's coming into his own because he's seen what true friendship is and what it means, and it's given him something.
おとなしくしてください。海軍兵士の一員としてあなたを捕獲します。
Kobe's Nickel Legend!
信念のために生きて！
It's difficult to watch when the power is so lopsided, but all the same, it meant something to see them actually trying so hard to bring him back into custody in spite of that.
殺す価値もねえ虫けらどもめ。二度と俺様の前へ現れるな。
I don't know why I feel that was important. It's like no matter how bad he is, he couldn't actually follow through with taking them out, thankfully. But that was really something.
いつかあんたを捕まえてみせる。待ってろよ。
Have one here for these final words too, his own promise being made, what he wants to achieve in the future under his own merit. That was really awesome, to be honest.
わしと海軍本部へ来い。
中将、二人を連れて行かれるのですか。
Oh, that is such an awesome thing to happen to these two lads who tried to do the right thing there, especially Kobe, and I'm so happy he saw something in both of them. Loving it!
こうして僕たちはルフィさんのいる大いなる海グランドラインへ向かうことになったんです。きっといつか会える日が来る。
And as if it wasn't good enough already, they're also heading towards the Grand Line.
やけどしても知らねえぞ。
バカかてめえ。
Zoro casually calling them out of his latest delusion. But also, I like how the ship isn't treated as various sections, because it's not a giant ship, so naturally him knocking out there is very noisy for Nami and Vivian there.
ルフィはどうした？
ああ、さっき水汲みを頼んだの。ちょっとシャワー浴びたくて。ルフィ、
てめえ何壊してんだよ。
いや、ただ早く水汲みを終わらせようとしただけだ。
Funny enough, I believe it was during the first episode of the last cover story that I praised getting to see various elements of the ship and how it works and everything, and then we get this here.
ソップ、あんたもう一つの方の水汲みマシンで水汲んどいてくれる？
Also funny enough, I just recently mentioned how she kinda, not in a bad way, manages to get them to do things for her, and I don't dislike her for it one tiny little bit.
私はグランドラインを航行中なんだもの。情報にありつけるだけでもありがたく思わなきゃ。それもそっか。
It's pretty cool that they can still get the world news even whilst out of the Grand Line.
何よ、ただの海軍の写真じゃない。ああ、でも一緒に写ってるのはただのやつじゃねえ。
Luffy being as happy to see some news on his friend Kobe as he was to hear about Luffy. Two wins here. Firstly, it feels like the first proper time that you see a military force. There's so many ships docked there, it's insane. Secondly, though, another new location, new different looking buildings, looking Japanese in style. Getting to see the various grueling ways in which Marines train at the actual headquarters.
そのために戦って死ねるんだったら本望じゃないですか。決 決死の覚悟でここまで来たんです。何でも言いつけてください。どんなことでもやり抜いてみせます、ガープ中将。
It's so awesome how statements made by Luffy some 50 odd episodes ago are still being used to forward his progression as a man and as the Marine he wants to one day become. Now that was almost too adorable to put into words, but it's very clear that she is going to miss them both, which is so sweet. Oh, for real though, bless her little heart. She also mentioned not getting the chance to make them a lunchbox, and it made me think that it was her who gave food to Zoro back then.
大丈夫。きっと帰ってくるわ。立派な将校さんになってね。
Great symbolism of the two lads growing up, just starting off their lives in this world.
うるせえだタリー
Yo man, just being everywhere when you don't expect it.
自分でそうなると決めたらそのために戦って死ねるんなら本望だろ。じゃあどっちが先にくたばるか勝負だな。
望むところです。言っときますが僕は負けませんよ。
Who would have really thought that the words of Luffy would not only positively affect Kobe in his life, but also this dude now as well, who he didn't even say them to at the time.
なんですかそれ。言ってることが全然違うじゃないですか。
It's a small detail, but I liked how this guy is watching over them. He's quite relaxed and just listening nearby. A great half-animated montage covering their efforts to get much stronger, much faster, and how they're doing so together, but also in competition with one another.
ルフィさんとは友達なんですよ。
バカ野郎、海賊と友達なんていう海兵がいるか。
It's so awesome to now see him protecting Kobe like this, but also I'm enjoying the mystery being slowly built about why Luffy is even on that list. A good question I hadn't even really thought about.
まだまだ。
Already you can see the massive difference in their bodies, and I'm glad that was relayed properly to the viewer.
まだまだ。
まだ死んでねえぞ。
Credit to them both for, in spite of losing, keep on attacking him all the same.
本当のところ。
今は表面的には体を鍛えたりして頑張ってるように見えるがな。お前らはこれから毎日猛特訓だぞ。覚悟しろ。
The old man acknowledging their strength of spirit and how much they've improved made for a hell of a wholesome moment as far as your boy is concerned.
友達のことは多めに見てやる。ただし多分無用だ。
ありがとうございます。ガン中将。
Absolute legend this dude is! I love sudden art style changes like this. Basically, this time a shorter but fully animated montage of them continuing to push and train now. Ah, he looks so adorable sleeping! I do so adore it when the episodes end like this. Right away they let us know we're now back with the crew and back on track, and reminds us of the next location. Let's go!
降らねえのかな。
降るわけねえだろ。
降るんだぞ。おめえ寝てたから知らねえんだよ。
A nice callback to an earlier episode.
リバースバウンテンから出る7本の磁力が全てを狂わせていたから、1本目の後悔ほど荒れ狂うことは稀だけど。
I personally think that this works better as lore, that it's really the first stretch where things go haywire, rather than them always being up against the weather from here on out.
おい野郎ども、俺のスペシャルドリンク飲むか。
Never did I think that adding a cook to the ship would allow for such unique and awesome scenes like this. I can't wait until other roles are added later on, to be honest, for the same reason.
ほら、そうだろうよ。お、いける口だな。おい、うめえか。
Sanji being nice and helping him to drink is one of the sweetest things he's done for a non-female.
いいんじゃない。しけでも来たらちゃんと働くわよ。あいつらだって。
I always enjoy this side to Nami. She knows they know what they're doing. If you can relax and enjoy yourself for a while during your trip, then why not?
ずいぶん楽。
Always a win in my book when the wind just casually does its thing. In normal anime, it'll be kicking in when someone makes a speech or recounts their undying love or what have you. A good reminder for the kind of place this is. It's easy to forget about the past few episodes that this part of the world is dangerous and full of vastly different creatures. Goodness me! Vivi getting first-hand example of exactly the kind of situation Nami was talking about, with them always being alert and ready for anything, no matter how relaxed they might seem.
鳥かじいっぱい。よーそー。
And just like that, the emergency is over. Everything is calm once more and the ship's course has been righted. Easy as that.
次の目的地はあの島よ。グランドライン2つ目の島だ。
Brilliant. Always so exciting for me when we arrive at a new location for another new story. Let's continue to go. For me, this is One Piece. Truly wild and fantastic looking islands and areas. This is a beautiful, unique looking place. Built on a tree or something?
ミスター3。
何かね、待ちたまえ。やはり紅茶はアールグレイに限るだね。
Sagayama from Kill la Kill. In case you forgot, he's one of the four Devas, the one with the sword and his eyes covered. Also, by the by, I've covered that, but it might not be out by the time this is.
私がミスター3だとバレてしまうがね。
At the very least, he's a very unique looking character design. The guy actually makes a real good point here, I think. Devil fruits aren't the be-all and end-all. They can be a nice tool, but you can't just rely on that power only.
でもすぐにはログはたまらないわ。
この前の町じゃ何も蓄えてね。
Giving two very valid reasons as to why they can't just skip past this island and move on to the next. Very clever.
だいたい見てよ。こんな植物図鑑でも見たことないわ。
Another great thing about One Piece has to be the whole angle of exploring the unexplored. This world is so large and so dangerous. People have only mapped out a certain amount of it fully.
かわいい。
俺がナミさんに決まってんだろ。
I must admit, Usopp 100% caught me off guard with that comment.
トラ？でかすぎる！
When they said that, I legit chuckled. Yeah, alright. I thought to myself. Then, a moment later, it's pacing alongside the ship and I was like, holy hell, that's huge!
何があったの？普通じゃないわ。絶対普通じゃない。
Okay, so like before, I was shocked, right, as I said. But then it spits up internal body juices of the red variety, let's say, and then falls on the floor, and now I'm even more shook up.
どこ行くつもり？ボンタン！来るか？ボケンボケン！
I mean, this is very much the Luffy we all know and love through and through. He's got a heart of gold and is carefree and absolutely lives for this adventure.
ねえ、私も一緒に行っていい？
Vivi very much keeps on growing on me this arc, if only because she's showing her true colours here. She's a brave girl, really, and it shows time and again.
あんたまで何言うの？じっとしてたらいろいろ考えちゃいそうだし。
Also, one here for her because it gives quite the realistic response as to why she wants to go, rather than some silly reason which doesn't make much sense, not wanting to be preoccupied in her own head. Maybe the smallest win of the video, but how Sanji doesn't pop inside and immediately come out with food, like I swear 90% of other anime would do it. Instead, he was away cooking it up. Yep, I'm a happy pup. This is exactly the kind of stuff I love. They're anchored there, they got a scouting party heading off. I cannot express my love properly for things of this nature.
食えそうな獣でもいたら取ってきてくれ。
ああ、わかった。
いいか、肉何キロ取れたか勝負。
何トンかの間違いだろ。
As one of the best follow-up wins, this then happens. These two going off to find food. So you got the team split into 3 groups now. 2 guarding HQ, 2 scouting and 2 gathering. Heck yes! A surprising amount of animation in that quick scene.
Yes, sir!
Sanji already out here proving his strength against creatures on this new island.
なんで他に海王類がいるんだ？
That was definitely not expected. An island full of dinosaurs? Hats off to Oda for that. I'd have picked a lot of other options before I correctly guessed dinosaurs.
グランドラインにある島々はその海の航海の困難さゆえに島と島との交流もなかったから。
How he didn't just go, here's an island with dinosaurs, deal with it, but instead added lore as to how that works in this world. By the way, she also mentions islands technologically advanced too. Hype! Glad this dino wasn't immediately taken out, because then we got another attack, but this time with great damage effects. I'm not sure I'll ever get bored of just how damn awesome Zoro looks when he finishes an attack and then puts his gear away. Look at it! Oh wow! Now that's something different!
この土地をそう呼ぶことにしよう。探検家ルイ・アーノルド。
What I took away from this ending is that a crew had originally come to this island to explore it and then wrote a book about it. The story and lore for me just keeps on getting better and better. Starting off the episode with some destruction animation before the title even rolls. Once again, just like a few episodes ago, I hope people watch this first bit to appreciate it properly.
酒を持っているかと聞いたんだ。そうか、持ってるか。
Once more, great voice acting, it's Endeavor from My Hero Academia, and having mentioned Kill la Kill, he's also Ira Gamagori and does one of the best voice acting performances for that anime of all time.
肉も取れた。もてなすぞ、客人よ。
I gotta say, it's quite the surprise that this dude isn't an enemy they gotta beat, but instead it's just a big friendly giant. Makes for quite the change to normal anime tropes.
死んだふりだ。
This.
大丈夫だよこいつ。それよりあっちにでっけえ穴ぼこがあんだよ。
How they did that zoom out shot to show him up there was actually really nicely done and very smooth.
危ない。
This scene almost entirely sums up Luffy and his carefree attitude when it comes to life, as he casually hops from one of the dinos to the next in order to gain some height and avoid being eaten. Getting to see a huge view of a big part of the overall island from up there was awesome to say the least. Shockingly, these giants, as I'm pretty sure this one looks different, are not only nice, they're actually really nice, as he stopped Luffy from becoming lunch right there. Look at the size of that, bruh!
見ていたぞ。このジャングルの首長どもと渡り合うとは。
You know it's actually not that easy to do giants and animation all that well, hence so much CGI for it nowadays, but here they do it really well. It's quite similar in quality and style to AOT.
いつまで死んだふりしてりゃいいんだ。
やっぱり巨人にはこの作戦効かないみたいね。
空耳か。
All this time later, they're still just pretending to be perished, let's say for YouTube's sake.
の肉。うまいぞ。
Oh! Absolutely, the animation on that running away sequence by Usopp gets a win. Not running for your life on the spot. Whilst the animation is certainly noteworthy, what stood out for me is the always fantastic quality of voice acting on display, especially Nami and her authentic scream here, bless her. It's really hard to understand the sheer size of these giants until you see it from an excellent view like this. It shocks me near enough every time.
さあ食え。うまいぞ、恐竜の肉は。
This be one of those rare occasions where I can reuse the previous win.
島のログはどのくらいで溜まるんでしょうか。
1年だ。
Oh! Alright, that wasn't the reply I was expecting. This throws up in the air pretty much every notion I had about this arc, and has left me genuinely very confused about what happens now. Well played! Oh, he's so adorable, just casually sipping his little drink, isn't he?
で争いを始めて互いに引きの場合、俺たちはエルバフの神の審判を受ける。
Imagine writing a story, naming your characters, giving them personalities and goals, towns, cities, countries, and then giving these giants lore. It's so huge and varied, it's so impressive to me.
この島は俺とある男との決闘場ってわけだ。正しい方が勝負に勝ち、生き残る。
Ah, now that makes more sense why they're out there. And for me makes it easily 10 times more interesting than they just happen to live there randomly. I'm very happy for this lore and knowledge.
俺の勝ちだ。
お前の負けだ。
Classic two cool guys related win. So much cool it's down to ooze out my screen and cause a mess.
理由か。忘れたな。カパパパパパパパパ。
This giant dude can't even recall the reason why he's having a 100-year beef?
とに忘れた。
Just as I mentioned before, I do think they did a real good job with making these two appear as giants.
どうしたの？ああ、参った。でけえ。
Felt quite poignant to see Luffy react in this way for the first time in the entire series, seeing pure strength that is just beyond him at this point in time, I'm guessing, and being wowed by it.
1万キロプレス。
Finding out that these two agents have actually followed them to this new island is a big win.
大層な能力だな。ジャングルに即席の一軒家とは。
A small part of the win is definitely for these two also being on the island, but the bulk is this seriously unique ability. Like, it throws everything out the window that I thought was possible.
傭兵海賊団の青鬼のトリーと赤鬼のブログ。
昔話で聞いたことがあるわ。
You gotta be freaking kidding me! These two giants are part of a giant pirates group? That right there is genuinely one of the best starts to an episode of One Piece I've seen. Great impact, awesome damage effects flying everywhere. In fact, it's so damn good looking, it's max wins. How this amazing event playing out before everyone's eyes is also wowing Usopp on a deeper level, same as Luffy.
わかるか。これは紛れもなく戦士たちの誇り高き決闘なんだよ。
Two wins. Firstly, it's good to see a yet another character being affected by events that then change them as a person in such a natural and organic way, because to me, this is perfect for Usopp. But secondly, another win has to be for just how good this view actually looks, everything in its place, as giants battle in the foreground and they watch it in the background.
別に興味ないもん。私そんなの。
I really do adore Nami. She's got such a way about her that I sometimes struggle to even put into words effectively.
まさにこれなんだ。俺の目指す勇敢なる海の戦士ってのは。
And there you have it, the perfect follow-up to win number 1735, as Usopp actually puts his feelings into words.
あんた巨人になりたいんだ。
Remember what I said a few episodes ago about Usopp having the best reactions? This is what I was talking about.
いいから降りてこい。
はいはい。
These are the kinds of unique looking views and shots that I do find myself really enjoying. Sound effects are probably second only to animation when it comes to giants fighting. It's what Attack on Titan excelled at, and these right here were such good examples I just had to show some of them.
ドリーよ、 実は酒を客人からもらった。
久しく飲んでね。分けてくれ。
It was really unexpected that it seems like these two are more just enjoying the fights now than anything else. Also though, bird's eye view of the entire area, including most importantly where that massive battle just happened.
この島に来た奴らは大抵ロンがたまる前に死んじまうのだ。どうやら人間どもにとってこの島での1年は長すぎるらしい。
Getting an important answer to an equally important question I've had, which was about where those bones come from. I guess the giants collected them as a kind of burial?
俺たちが生きてえのはそこじゃねえんだ。ここの次の島に生きてえだけなんだよ。なあ。
I'm such a huge fan of the casual way in which Luffy talks about things. It's so relaxing. I feel like even when he's not in control, he's kinda in control though through sheer calmness.
運が良けりゃ行き着くだろうよ。
Sometimes a secondary win that's the same as the last one pops up and I include them together, but honestly I felt like it was so good as an example of what I just said that it should get its own win.
あんたたちのようになりてえ。
巨人にか。
そうじゃねえよ。
The repeat of that joke somehow managed to make it even funnier than the first time around. That really got me.
その誇りはまたエルバフの地に受け継がれる永遠の宝なんだ。
I swear between that statement from him, a lovely piece of lore and that beautiful music playing, it just makes me happy to be watching. It's so well put together. To be 100% honest with you, in spite of knowing full well that those agents were on the island, this still massively caught me off guard. Emergency plot twist!
貴様らだ。ロギーじゃない。
Oh, that change in the voice and demeanor really got to me, especially knowing it really wasn't them.
おっさんには悪いけど、ちょっと黙らせる。
My god, the size difference is done so well, it's incredible. Right off the bat, I can comfortably say that the battle itself is far better already than I thought it would end up being, especially because now a tiny creature is fighting a giant one. Tough to animate. Dropping a win for making me more nervous than I've been in dozens of episodes with his arms so exposed to a slice there. Oh man, it's honestly tough to watch because he is a friendly giant, it's just a misunderstanding, and he's currently badly hurt as it is, and yet took another shot to the stomach. Another massive one there for that. I thought he was done for, but then he gets Luffy like this. Obviously he'll be okay, but it never seems to stop me from feeling genuinely nervous. I'm really glad he's okay, but I couldn't really help myself chuckling at how it actually ended up looking. A whole bunch of pure animation goodness they didn't have to do.
麦わら？ああ、ボスの秘密を知ったという。
I'm very sure that'd be taken from the manga, but all the same, I thought it was really going the extra mile to have it go from being a normal 3 to a question mark and then an exclamation mark.
ま、手頃なやつからおびき出していけばいいだろう。
Instead of all of them having colour photos, naturally they have Vivi in colour, since they had her photo anyway, but the others remain drawn from the last arc. Such a nice added detail. A most adorable little dinosaur!
我ここにあり、戦士通り、せめてエルバフの名に恥じぬ戦いを。
It's almost physically painful to me to watch this giant trying so hard to attend a battle whilst so incredibly injured, man.
何すんだおっさん、この岩をどけろ。おい、
止まれねえよさ。
Finding a pretty clever way to keep them out of the fight or to stop it from happening. I thought he'd trap them in there and then thought, nah, Luffy could just use his arms to get out, but yeah, he did this instead. Putting a surprising amount of detail into all of this movement after placing the rock. I think even some big studios would have merely zoomed in on his face as he spoke and left it at that.
紙とかカゴとか
決闘は邪魔されたんだ。
Luffy not just being his normal self here, but instead spouting some pure hard logic at this giant, which I appreciated in the moment. First of all, amazing voice acting performance there, but secondly, I feel it in my gut when Luffy is putting his all into something, like he really doesn't want this fight to happen. Usopp copying his signature laugh. That was so good.
俺は恐竜相手じゃ手も足も出ねえ。俺たちがジャングルを抜けて船へたどり着くなんて不可能だ。
Him saying something like this with so much pride is hilarious.
自分の生き様を誇れる男に俺はなりてえとな。
向こう側の巨人の家にルフィたちいるのよね。
How come Nami is always the height of kawaii and adorable?
はいはい。じゃ早く頼れる戦士になってくれる？
よし。
I liked this. I figured Nami would go off on her own and leave Usopp there, but thankfully she's better than that, and was quite happy to drag him along, bless her eternal heart and soul. Oda knows how to hit my heart. Seeing someone who is struggling but lying about it just hurts to see.
出会ったばかりの巨人のためにどうしてここまで？とても懸賞金付きの悪党だとは思えない。
Her voice is so lovely in this scene, but it's also nice to see someone other than Kobe a few episodes ago wondering why on earth he had such a high bounty on his head when he's such a nice dude.
お、ナミじゃねえか。ちょうどよかった。
Just like the same kind of win back at Logtown, it's always cool when members of the crew that have been split up start coming across each other again.
おい、どうした？
Oh, okay, you totally got me. So this is that dude's ability, or the younger girl maybe. Another new and unique ability? That made me laugh way harder than they probably ever thought it would. His actions always speak louder than his words. Even though he's scared, he immediately stops when he hears her scream and then notices she's no longer following behind. See, he is scared, but it is so damn funny how he thinks it's best to dart around like crazy to find her. The kind of thing I used to do in horror games. But the main win is, he is trying to find her. You might recall that when I mentioned in the past about Usopp having the best reactions, I also made mention about how great Luffy's were at the same time, and here we go. Great example of how right now Vivi is like Nami, in that she uses her head and isn't quite ruled by emotions like these two can often be. Good on you, girl!
二人のうちナミさんだけが狙われることにも納得がいく。
Now this gets her a follow-up win, because not only did she keep her head calm, she was extra smart and figured out something I hadn't even thought about. They're not yet aware of both Usopp or Sanji.
あの二人は100年間全力でぶつかって互角の戦いをしてきたんだぞ。多分世界で一番誇り高い戦いなんだぞ。
Usopp here understanding that pride and honor is so important here in this duel between the giants, same as Luffy, albeit from a slightly different point of view.
どれ一つ加勢してやろうかね。
You know I'm really in awe. Every Devil Fruit ability has basically directly affected the body in some way. This is the first time it's external, right? The end of the battle and how it was done, making me feel both anxious, but also how impactful it was. Hell yes, I can't not give that a win and just skip past it. Some of the greatest voice acting in all of One Piece to date.
なお、君はすでに私に捕らえられている。
なんだこれは?
It really is another new and unique ability, isn't it?
お前ら
王女を呼ぶのよ。
口を開けこのクソ鳥が。
I know it's a silly win, but how the lovely bird refused to basically betray its master, the princess, in spite of always being so scared? She's really awesome when she gets going. Both Vivi and Usopp rushing into battle. I'm half freaking out here, I can't lie. Eager for revenge, even though it doesn't last long, it's always decent to see them fighting. Darth Weirdo, Matthew Blancett, Mao Liao, The Elemental Awards, Christopher Willis, Draki, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Minimasher, Marquez, Orkeeper, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Creer, Brian Bayot, Cameron, Christopher Tawasa, Commander Cyrus, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Aaron Winters, Guru, I Am Here, Your Edvinson, Kevin Alston, Cumfroik, Carly Welp, Lisa Marie Timp, Luis Minito, Magnus, Nathan Burr, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Sataka Yari, Zyonx 44, Sean, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Subito, Wiccan Faye, Ali 50, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Devon, Iso, Garrett Vermish, Gibbs, Isel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Jafford 6263, Calnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevink 102, Knuckle Duster, Chris Madden, KY158, Carl Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gogati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Malcarius, Michael Lewis, Modiverum, Mudini, Mr. Firecool, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, 9028, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Q Flash, Ryan DeVirus, Sentimento, Storm 970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Tricky Nicky, Willyman.